Well, good afternoon. This is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant afternoon, and what a glorious, glorious early fall day it is. Temperatures around about 18 to 20 degrees, bright sunshine, clear blue skies, no little trails running across the sky, so it is absolutely brilliant. And so I am basically getting ready to set off. We're about two and a half weeks away now from departure date, and I hope to be arriving at the Universal Ostrich Farm in BC around about the first week of October, and hopefully the ostriches have not been culled. Things, fingers crossed, have been going pretty well so far. There has been a massive, massive, massive outpouring of support for this family and this farm. Donald Trump is now involved, RFK Jr., Elon Musk, Joe Rogan is on board with this now. You know, there's some real high-profile people are getting involved with this, and there seems to be a continual presence on the property there of people who are showing up like myself to show support, to do chores, whatever to help out, and keep a presence there to show that there is a strong resistance to this. And David Creighton pointed this out excellent the other day, and Katie's been doing some excellent interviews as well. I urge you to check these out. I will link some of them below. But this is not just about ostriches. This is about property rights. This is about an unelected agency under instructions of another unelected agency called the World Animal Health Organization, making decisions, coming onto private property, seizing private property. This all falls under a legal search and seizure in the Constitution. These people are unelected, and they seem to have a one-track mind, and of course, when nothing makes sense, because really all people are asking is that they test these birds, which, if you have a scientific mind, surely you never stop asking questions. Surely you are prepared at any moment to be contradicted, to be given contrary evidence, and you have to accept that things change as we progress forward. But this is because these birds have the one thing that has been played down over the last 5 years. Doctors have completely forgotten that natural herd immunity exists. We've been on this planet for a long, long time, and I'll tell you, if you look at some of the historical dramas, you will see that people never washed their hands. We lived in burgeoning on filth, 24/7, sleeping on straw mattresses on the floor with all kinds of bugs and Christ knows what else. Unclean. Who knows? But we have survived all of that. Every year we have a flu season, and the vast majority of people survive that. The only people who don't make it are the ones who have serious complications. Either you're very young, very old, which means your immune system would be depleted, or you have some underlying cause, you have cancer or something else. But if you have even average health, you're going to make this through, and the vast majority do, and that is the way, believe it or not. It's maybe not fair. I know in individual cases it's a tragedy, but overall, this is the way nature works, and this is the way it will continue to work. Nature will do its own culling, and regardless of what they try and tell you with the science, we are virtually helpless. These things have been around a lot longer than we have. And of course now you see they found with Roundup, using Roundup Ready corn and so on and so forth. Well, they've now developed superbugs and super molds and super bacteria that they can't control. Now they need even more of the stuff. It's a never-ending cycle. These things will adapt to the conditions on this planet, period. And that's what the CFIA does not want you to know. That's what all the health authorities do not want you to know, is that you have a fully functioning immune system, and that for one reason or another, fair or unfair, there's going to be a certain portion of our worldwide civilization who is just not going to make it. For whatever reason. whether it be by accident, fair means or foul, or by, some bacteria, whatever it is. That's just the way life is. And, because we can't change that, we have to adapt to that. Anyway, it was kind of interesting, just to flip back to this in BC. I was listening to Barney Hendry, and they were announcing, I'll see if I can get the quote I saw, it was on CBC, but she was announcing the first presumptive case of avian flu in a teenage boy. And I'm going, presumptive? Well, where have I heard that before? Well, that was the word that triggered me to the whole COVID thing. When the announcer came out and said, we have our first presumptive case. Who uses the word presumptive? I mean, your suspected case, we're investigating. Presumptive is not a word that is in common usage. And if there is one thing that all of these types of people, these elitist and wannabe elitist people have in common, is that they love to rub your face in the fact that they're smarter than you and they know all kinds of big words. So they throw that stuff in. Well, when I hear that, my little ears, they just prick right up, because, they're giving you a little clue that something is afoot. And isn't it strange, that the first presumptive case of avian flu, and all of a sudden Katie there at the Universal Ostrich, got to cull those birds, man, can't have herd immunity. So we know that this is now political. Somebody wants those birds dead, and whether it will happen or not, we don't know. Hopefully there is enough international recognition that we can actually prevent this from happening. And hopefully I'll be one of many hundreds of people who visit this farm, stay for a little while, and then move on, so there is a continual presence, because this is hard work. I will not kid you. This is difficult and arduous work, and it takes some stamina to get through it. And I absolutely commend Katie and her family for taking this on. They're making a Supreme Court appeal, but they'd heard rumours that there was 200 RCMP amassing to raid the farm. There was a Black Ops helicopter flying over, scoping out the whole place, and they'd also heard from a very highly placed authority that there was the CFIA was going to go through this regardless. It was going to happen, but it was supposed to happen last week, and it hasn't happened. They now have a temporary injunction to allow them to make a Supreme Court appeal. And this is what I had suggested, is that, yes, start this appeal process going, because as soon as it goes into appeal, the whole cull has to stop, as it just stays where it is. And the longer these birds remain healthy, the more likely it is that they are going to get tested and they will not get eradicated. And of course, I may be going on a bit here, but the crazy thing about this is that these are not meat birds. This is a very isolated farm. They're a long, long, long way from their neighbours, and their eggs are used in research only. This is a research program. Okay, so this has got absolutely nothing to do with any contact with humankind. And as Katie so correctly pointed out, well, what about all the ducks? You got to cull all the ducks, because it's out there too. It's in the wild. You're going to kill all those animals. Like, where does this end? I mean, these people, the CFIA, are the antithesis of, firstly, what they advertise themselves to be, and secondly, what they should be. They should be on our side. We should not be spending 8 months of our year. You realise that you work 8 months of the year until August the 8th or 10th or something like that. That's all taxes. So you are paying for these people to beat you up 8 months of a year. You only get 4 months of the year that actually goes in your pocket. So we're paying for this arrogance and this nonsense, when they really should be on our side, encouraging people like Katie to discover more about immunity, to partner with the CDC and so on and so forth. That's what these institutions were put there for, not to crush people, but to help people and to make the most sensible decisions possible. So this has become all political, and I would urge anyone out there within range of my voice to share this video, not for the sake of my hits or anything like that, but this has to be spread around as far and as wide and as quickly as possible if we are going to prevent a massacre. A massacre. This is a genocide. This is a genocidal act by the government and one of its unelected agencies, who have a history of disaster. If you watch my other two videos, you know, this is an agency along with the Department of Fisheries and Oceans that have the same modus operandi, that have been an absolute disaster for Canada, its wildlife, its yeah. I just shake my head that we're paying these people's wages and there's no consequences. If you or I behave like this, you know, we'd be in frickin' jail, man. It would be all over. Okay, so that's enough about that. I say I'm preparing hard for departure, but in the meantime, let's take a little walk around, and I'll show you a few things that I've been doing, and we'll go down, take a look at the garden, and yeah, that'll be my vlog and update. Okie dokie, here we go. So here is the finished product. As I said before, this is the counter space that they give you with the home, that comes with the home, and I have now expanded that out. Countertops in place, and this little rack here I built to contain everything from sliding around when we're traveling, and I finally fixed that light into the corner so you get a good sturdy hold and it's not bumping into it, not sticking out anywhere. So yeah, I'm actually kind of pleased with the way that turned out. You've got the edging on, all varnished. The knives and forks drawer is under there. So no, I am, yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. I think that worked out well. I think I'm going to be very, very happy with that. And of course, the reason I put the cutaway in is because it now accommodates the drawer. It was actually very awkward trying to pull that out before. And the other thing that I did was, here we go, I took out the TV and VCR that was sitting there, and I built a little cabinet in there to house my CB, because I think a CB is going to be important whilst I'm on the road, especially in the US. A lot of truckers use CB, and there's your PowerPoint. There is a booster there, so yeah, that side is ready to go. The other thing I've been doing is building these racks into these storage bins, because as you can imagine, you know, if you don't want to be stacking things on top of another, which makes it very hard to access, you really lose, you know, half of that bin space, just wasted. And just incidentally, I don't know if you can see through there, that is underneath the motorhome where the slide out comes in, and you will see that is in absolutely mint condition. The more I look around this bus, the more I can't believe how well it has been kept and maintained over the years. So yeah, that's the plan today, is to continue on lining these bins. Thank God I can do this work myself. Costs you money to get this kind of stuff done. Anyway, and as of Thursday of this week, those two batteries closer to the bulkhead where the orange dial is, they're coming out, and my lithium iron phosphate battery is going in, and there will be a charge regulator and a display monitor, and this is going to be hooked up, either charged by the engine whilst I'm driving, or it'll be hooked up to solar panels. I got a pair of folding solar panels that I can set up outside. So this is going to basically, it's like having 6 of these single batteries in that one lithium iron phosphate battery. So yes, I'm looking forward to getting that done. So we are getting close to being ready to go. So I'm very happy with that. Everything's tested out okay. The engine, the transmission, fluid levels, we are in tip-top shape, and it is no wonder that this thing passed its safety. You know, look at the attention to detail here. This is spray foam on the outside of these bins to prevent corrosion and rusting. And as you can see, I've had all this under-sealed and sandblasted before it was under-sealed, so it is in excellent condition underneath. So I don't know whether you can see under there, it's kind of dark, but you can see the chassis all been sandblasted, under-sealed, air tanks, suspension. So yes, we are in excellent shape. The garden, well, I can't believe how well it's done. We've actually had some rain, and this has helped an awful lot. I was watering every night anyways, but yeah, we got a ton of beans off there, and this weekend, Sunday, all the beets are being pulled. We're going to do those down into pickled beets, and I am looking forward to that. Now, carrots just coming on. This is my third planting of carrots. You might get some carrots by November or so, and yeah, October. Onions did terrible, absolutely horrible. I was late planting. I bought the sets late. They weren't the greatest of quality. And again, I've had 3 plantings of lettuce here, and still haven't managed to germinate. Now, they were kind of older seeds, but still, I'm a little disappointed in that. But the peas have gone absolutely insane, and I think we're going to be getting some good seed crop here. We had lots of tomatoes. Oh my goodness. These tomato plants have done so well. Now, this little gizmo here, you stand this up and stick it in the ground like that. You put the hose on it, and it is a solar powered, movement sensitive, and it just sprays out a jet of water when anything moves past. It is a wonderful way to protect your plants, and it's done a fairly admirable job here. And it doesn't use a lot of water because it only comes on when people move past. Like, hear that little click? There you go. That's it switching on. That would have been a spurt of water. So we have Brussels sprouts here. That'll take a little while. That'll be the fall, more than likely, when they come on. But peppers didn't do hugely well. We got some hot peppers there. These peas on the inside here are sugar snap or snow peas, and on the other side are shelling peas. But this is how I remember from my childhood. This is what got me turned on to gardening in the first place, was going down to my grandfather's allotment, and there would be just a wall of peas, and I'd be picking peas, eating them raw. That's where I got my taste for raw vegetables. But you can see the benefit of growing your tomatoes up a vine. Look how many tomatoes we have, all the way up from the bottom to the top. And this actually tonight is going to be our first frost. We're going down to 3 degrees. Now it'll be patchy, but if it hits, the tomatoes and beans will be Dunsky. Sad to say. But it's a nice warm day right now. Nice warm day. But yeah, cucumbers, we've had tons of them. It's absolutely unbelievable what like a wall of beans, the produce that these plants have put out. And we've already eaten a few potatoes, but I'm coming over here on Friday and I'll be digging the rest of these out and letting them cure for a couple of days, and they will be stored up, ready to go, well, shared between the owner and his wife here, and I will take some for my trip. And we're also, like I say, we're doing down the beach this weekend, and I'll have a few jars of beets to take with me. A couple of nice looking cabbages down there. So overall, considering this is the first time that there's been a garden here in a little while, and it was very late planting and it was a cold spring, it actually did pretty good. I'm quite impressed with that. And we have, like I say, had a few short rainfall periods here, so the water levels have come up a little bit, but not a lot. We could really use a bit more, actually. So, but the cooler weather helps. The cooler weather helps. But this is a skill that we should all be trying to develop a little bit of. It's many years of experience have gone into gardening, and I still make mistakes. I still have crops that fail, like my lettuce. There you go, perfect example. But not the zucchini. Look at those babies. Look at those babies down there. Oh my God, we've been giving away zucchinis. It just, yeah, they just go insane this time of year. So yeah, but yeah, it's a skill that we all need to be developing, enjoying and loving, and I can't tell you how great it is for the soul to be amongst nature, to know that you're growing something living, that you're eating something living. Yes, very nice. And what would a vlog update be without the chickens? Look at them. They are just doing great. The 3 Andalusian chickens right there, they have settled right in, and we're getting lots and lots of eggs from all of them, between 5 and 7 eggs a day now. And the chicks are all outside whilst these guys are in. They seem to trade places. Those 4 pal out together. But yes, 2 little brown eggs there. What else have we got? Oh, look at that. 4 eggs there. So we're getting between 5 and 7 eggs a day, roughly. 6 is the norm. But yes, we're almost can't keep up with the rate at which these chickens are laying. So yes, I'll be sad to see them go, but luckily the family here have fallen in love with them, as I did. And so they're going to be looking after them for the winter, and so they will be here when I come back in the fall. And I'm so sorry, in the spring I mean. So I'm so happy for the chickens. I really didn't know what I was going to do with them, but this is the perfect little spot, and they are as happy as all get out. This here is what you call Japanese knotweed. It is unbelievably invasive. It just grows like absolute crazy. You can't kill it, but you know what? At this time of year, it is a late flowering plant, and I think you can probably see the amount of pollinators that we've got that will need this energy to help get them through the winter. Yeah, one of the last sources of food next to the goldenrod. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that little walk around and check out of things, and you know, keep up with what the old Houndog is doing here. And you know, one of my Some reading projects I should mention before I leave is this book by Mark Carney, which is called Values, and I'm about halfway through right now, and if what he says in here comes to fruition, I mean, we're basically done. Okay, it is full of environmental madness. His whole premise for leadership is based on three crises. One is the financial crisis of 07-08, the COVID crisis, and the climate crisis. And so, yes, this man is an ideological zealot, and that is probably the most dangerous kind of leader that you can have, because they will ignore every logical path that disagrees with their ideological bent. Okay, so yes, and the reason I'm reading it is because, you know, there's an old saying that you keep your friends close and you keep your enemies closer, and so this kind of gives you a heads up as to what is coming down the track, and it is not good. So anyways, yes, I also am going to vlog all the way across to BC. We'll be hanging out. I'm going with a friend. They're going to be caravanning, hopefully. She's flying out from Texas right now to shut down her trailer up here. And yes, I will be vlogging all the way across. We spent about a month in BC, and then we're cutting across the US down into Texas for the winter. And I'm just in the process now of booking my place at a RV park down there right on the Gulf of America now, as it's called. So yes, we'll be making many interesting side trips, and just checking out America, because I really want to see, you know, you watch YouTube videos, all this kind of stuff. What can you tell? I mean, you're like, yeah, I can go to any corner of any town in any country and show you the dark side or the light side. Well, but what is like in the middle there? What's the average person doing? So I am going to be reporting on that. I'm going to be following that. I'm most interested in that because that is one of my people. That's why I was a barber for 30 years, 35 years, because I am fascinated by people, and myself included, and why we do our things, the things that we do. You know, and it is actually incredible when you see, and this is an overused word now, but the diversity, even within a single group of people, let alone across the entire spectrum. So I don't know if any of you read the book Travels with Charlie by John Steinbeck, but that's kind of what I'll be doing, is sort of overview of the state of the country as we drive down through, and of course I'll be traveling out from Texas to different locations, and keeping you all well informed of my whereabouts and my well-being, and I hope this finds you well. Yeah, to Katie and her family, I celebrate your strength of character and your courage to push forward against the most daunting of odds. And we all love you out here. We're all supporting you. We're praying for you on a daily basis. I mention you in my prayers all the time, that a circle of light and protection be put around your birds, yourself, and your property. And yes, thank you for standing up for all farmers and property rights. This is probably the most important thing that we can stand up for, because our rights are disappearing on virtually a daily basis. Yeah, I mean, this is just upside down, back to front, and this is very, very disturbing mentally. So yes, congratulations to Katie. Thank you for all that you're doing. We all support you because we know that you are supporting all of us directly or indirectly by your actions. So thoughts and prayers, and I hope to see you very shortly. And thank you all for coming along with me on this journey, and having this wonderful, wonderful adventure in this life of mine. And yes, we'll be doing a lot more of this. Okie dokie. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe below. And in the meantime, this is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant afternoon, and we'll talk very, very shortly. See you now. Bye.